Hello and welcome to another video. In this one I'm going to take you through the equipment that I currently use for creating my middle of the road indie rock demos that I make before I go to the studio, and the technique, if you can call it that, just going a little bit more granular, just because a couple of people asked what equipment I'm using and asked a couple of questions about how I'm doing the acoustic guitars and that kind of stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to go through all the equipment list first of all. There is, I'll try and put some descriptions, a list of all the equipment I'm using in the description below this video. If you want to see specific links to stuff, some of them will be Amazon affiliate links as well, just so I can earn a few pence from the people that do actually buy anything through those. But let's go through the equipment, shall we? So this is probably the newest thing that I've got. I've got a Scarlett 2i2 USB interface, and I use that to record stuff. It has a volume control. It's got an individual volume control for the headphone output as well. It does direct monitoring, both stereo and mono. It has power for phantom power for condenser mics, which is what I use a lot of the time, so that's handy. Well, it's not just handy, it's essential for what I do. You've got two gain controls for the two inputs. I don't record loads of inputs simultaneously. 2 is the maximum I do when I sing and play guitar at the same time, so I only need 2. You can buy these with more or less inputs. It uses like a colour thing on here as well, so it goes green when everything's cool. I think it's amber when it's about to clip, and red when your input's too loud and it's clipping. You've got an instrument button, and that just switches on a preamp for one of these. So if you've got a guitar or something you need it to be preamplified, you can tap that and it gets preamplified. And then this air button, which is kind of like a magic button. I don't fully understand what it does, but if you press it and record your vocals sound slightly better than when it's not pressed. It is marginal, but it's there. Microphone wise, I have a Audio-Technica 4040, which I purchased. It's a condenser mic. I purchased it second hand from Digital Village in Cambridge about 20 years ago, maybe, like nearly 20 years ago. I think these are now actually quite expensive. I'm not sure if they were expensive when I got it or I just got it cheap, because I don't feel like I would have spent the amount of money that they cost now, which is when I looked online, they're like about £350 they go for, £350, £400. I got this from the second-hand section of Digital Village, like I said. Monitoring-wise, I have some Fostex PM1s. I've got 2 of those, so that obviously you want 2 monitors so you can hear things in stereo. The Fostex PM1s are, I bought them again probably 20 years ago. You can buy them now used. They don't make them anymore, but you can buy them used for like £50 or £100. I've seen them for as little as that on Reverb. If they went wrong tomorrow, I'd probably go on Reverb and buy another set again, just because I like them and I'm used to them. They obviously plug into the back of the Scarlett 2i2. Software wise, I use Cubase Elements. I used to use Sonar Cakewalk. I used that for years and years and years. I used that probably for 15 to 20 years, and then again in very recent years, because Cakewalk it just disappeared. You can't buy Cakewalk stuff anymore. But I switched over to Cubase and learned how to use Cubase, and I got one of the cheaper versions of Cubase, because I don't need all singing or dancing. All I'm really doing is I need to be able to record stuff and add some effects to stuff, and maybe put a click track on there and some drums and some MIDI. I don't need to do absolutely loads of things. So all the functionality that I need for demoing, I can get that in Elements. So I've just got Elements. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over to show you a project and go over how I use that stuff to do a rough demo. This isn't the best way or the right way necessarily of doing things. It's just the way that I do demoing, and I'll just go through how I record the basic foundations of a demo. So your drums, vocals, guitars, bass, Let's have a look, shall we? Follow me. Right, you can see the screen here. I've got a demo that I did for a song called Selfish Man, which will be on album 5. First things first, when I'm demoing, I would generally record a rough take. This will be the only thing that I'll do first of all, is to just play the song with the microphone and just do everything on one track, because this is going to be thrown away, so I don't need separation or anything here. So if I press play. I've had enough of this. I don't want the world at my finger. So you can hear that's just my vocals and guitar. I've just got a microphone in front of me which is plugged into the Focusrite, and I've just pressed record, and I don't really care how it sounds at this point. It's just me playing to a click track, so I've got something to build up from. Then after that, it's either during that or just shortly after that, I'll start figuring out drums. So, which is either I program the drums in MIDI, or I will splice up some drum samples from a drum pack somewhere if I find something that has the right feel and tempo. And in this case, it looks like I found something, so that is adding drums next. I've had enough. At that point, I can get rid of the click track, because no one wants to listen to a click track if they don't have to. Next up, bass. Obviously, you want the bass to go in, to sound right with the drums, so I generally go with the bass next. The bass is just DI'd in, so I've got the instrument button pressed to pre-amplify the bass guitar. It's just lead goes straight from the bass to the Focusrite, and I have that next. I've had enough of this. At some point along this journey, I will bin off the rough tape, because I don't need to listen to it anymore, because you're starting to build everything from scratch again. So we can get rid of the rough take. So we've now just got bass and drums. Then acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar, I record I DI the acoustic guitar, so I have the output on the acoustic guitar plugged into the input on the Focusrite, and then also I use that condenser mic. I just put that somewhere near the hole of the guitar. It's not an exact art form, although some people might argue it is. Put that near the hole of the guitar, and then I record 2 lots of acoustic guitar at the same time, and pan one slightly to the left and one slightly to the right, just to give it a nice stereo feel. So we go, here's the DI one. Which is left 40, and then I've got an acoustic, this is one that goes from the microphone, that's 40% to the right. And then vocals, as you can probably guess, I use the microphone. I just put the microphone near my face, and then I start singing to the track, which is this track. Here's my main one. I've had enough of this. I don't want the world. And then electric guitar, which is something else that I often add to tracks. DI'd again, so I don't mic it up, or it's very rare that I mic up the strings. A lot of the time it's just the output from the guitar going straight into the Focusrite with the instrument button press, so it's pre-amplified, and then I will just flick through a bunch of plugins until I find something that matches the song. Am I a selfish man with all my selfish plans? I've had enough of this. And then the only other thing that I won't go through here, but it's MIDI. You obviously, MIDI's different for all your different, whatever you call these things, DAWs, DAWs. But yeah, sometimes then after that, then I'll go into MIDI stuff, which I know just enough to be dangerous as far as MIDI is concerned. But there you go. That's the stuff that I use, and that's how I use it to create basic demos. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, it all helps. And if you've got any questions, you'd like me to do a bit more of a deep dive into anything else, feel free to add a comment. Thank you for watching.